Hi everyone, welcome to the webinar. The topic of the webinar today is lead nurturing essentials to increase your lead to customer conversions. I'm Meenu Joshi. I lead the content team here at LeadSquared. I have with me here Prashant, who's the Chief Customer Officer here at LeadSquared. So he'll be helping me answer some questions, and I'll be the main presenter for the webinar today. So let's begin. What exactly is it that I'll be covering in the webinar today? I'll cover why you should nurture your leads at all, what lead nurturing is and what it is not, what are the prerequisites and what are the essentials that you must have to begin lead nurturing, and what are the best practices to start lead nurturing. So let's begin. Why should you nurture your leads at all? So I'm sure that we've heard a lot about lead nurturing, and you know that all leads are not created equal. So you need to engage them accordingly, according to what are their interests, what are their intentions, what are their what is their state in your buying cycle, and you have to nurture them accordingly. You know those basics. Let's just look at a couple of numbers to strengthen that knowledge that we have. So this research is from Forrester. It says that companies using lead nurturing generate 50% more leads at 33% less cost than the companies that are not using lead nurturing. That is a pretty significant difference. So those companies that are not using lead nurturing are missing out on that. And to say most of the companies today, they are not using lead nurturing in the proper sense of the word. Then once again, this research is from Marketing Sherpa. They say that organizations that are using lead nurturing, they experience 45% lift in lead generation ROI over organizations that do not. It's pretty obvious from by looking at the previous statement, the previous set of stats that we saw, right? That organizations see a significant increase in lead generation ROI if they use this. So let's begin by talking about what lead nurturing is not. So now that we are talking about lead nurturing, I'll take an analogy to explain it. So let's think of lead nurturing in terms of a teacher-student relationship. After all, both require proper knowledge sharing, both require trust building, and ultimately the conversion, right? Conversion into the customer in your case, and conversion of the student into passing the exam. So what happens if one day, which is the first day of school, your teacher walks into the class and hands over a test? What would happen? Most of the students would fail and hate and blame the teacher for that, right? So same thing happens when you are nurturing your leads as well. If you send, if as soon as your leader enters the system, if on the first day you send them your product details when they don't know much about you, some of them would of course know about you depending on how far along they are in their research phase for buying. But most of them, they would not know that much about you. So if you send them the product details on the day one, then they would eventually mute you out. Probably they'll not open your next email because you're not giving them anything of value. You're talking just about yourself, right? So that doesn't work in lead nurturing, right? Again, it is also not sending periodic emails to your database without considering what are the actions that they are taking after your emails. For instance, you send across an email on day 1, and then day 3, day 5, day 7, and you do not take into consideration whether your prospects are actually opening the emails, they are connecting with you, they're responding to your emails, or what actions they're taking. You're not considering that at all. You're just sending across stuff like that. So once again, it fits into the teacher-student analogy that I took. If a teacher keeps on delivering a lecture with no concern for whether or not his students are understanding, then he will definitely be not considered a good teacher, and apparently, like eventually, the students, they're gonna mute him out, right? They'll not pay attention to his class. So this is also what you're not supposed to do in lead nurturing. So what is it then? What exactly is it? It consists of sending, well-crafted, intelligently crafted emails to your database, which can be pre-qualified in some senses, like what are the demographics of your different leads, what are their interests and all, what is their industry if you are a B2B company, and we will discuss this qualification part later on during the presentation. So yeah, so you send across well-crafted emails to your database according to what kind of demographics, firmographics they fall under. Then you track their activities based on that email. What are the web pages are they visiting? What are the documents that they are downloading? Is something specific? Is it something specific that they are looking for? You'll be able to figure that out based on their downloads, based on their web page visits, and the time that they stay on a particular web page, etc. So, right. Then after you have tracked that, you need to further segment your leads based on these actions. For if you are, for instance, a travel company, some of your leads would be interested in your Mauritius travel package, while some others would be interested in your Australia package, and they would interact with those particular campaigns accordingly. So you need to further segment leads based on that, and send relevant content once again based on the actions that they take and the segmentation that you've done, right? So this is actually what lead nurturing is. This is how it should be. Now that we have that covered, let's proceed to the prerequisites and the essentials to lead nurturing. So the very first essential is that you have to agree on a definition of lead according to both your sales and marketing team. Why? Why do you need to do that? There exists generally a kind of tension between marketing and sales always, because marketing is just content by generating a lot of leads, and they just hand them over to sales, and they're not considered whether the sales are actually able to convert the leads into customers or not, and the sales blame marketing for giving them these unqualified leads, right? So if you beforehand, if you agree on a definition of lead according to both the teams, then you can put an end to this marketing sales blame game to some extent. Then of course marketing needs to qualify leads, as I said, before handing them off to sales. That's why you need to do this. Then once again, if you have a proper definition of lead, then your marketing would concentrate on devising nurturing strategies only for sales relevant leads. And it would also help sales concentrate on the important leads first, so that they don't miss out on the important ones. Once again, why is this definition needed? As I've said before, marketing is happy with lead quantity, even though sales is unhappy. Let's look at some numbers for this. According to Glenster research, only 25% leads are legitimate and should advance to sales. And 79% of marketing leads never convert to sales, according to Marketing Sherpa. Now, most of this is actually attributed to a lack of lead nurturing. Now, once again, from the sales perspective, why is this definition important? Because you don't want your sales team to dump leads that don't close on first try. Generally, what happens is that sales rep make an average of 1.3 calls before giving up on a lead. The average first call time from time of lead capture is 46 hours and 53 minutes. Now, that's a long time. So what happens is that sometimes because the sales does not know which are the leads that are good ones, which are the leads that are qualified ones, they waste their time calling the junk leads first, and they connect with the actual relevant leads later on. In the meantime, they miss out on those opportunities, because most of the people who are actually going to make a buying decision, they would convert with the first vendor that contacts them. 35 to 50% of prospects would be like that. So you don't want to do that. You need to end this. How would you end this? You need to know your prospect properly, based on their demographics, based on their intents, based on their behaviors. So we'll go on to all of that as we proceed with the presentation. So the first thing that you need to do in defining a good lead is to create a prospect persona. So now I've taken an example of a B2B lead. So here this particular persona is a CEO, and the company size is mid-sized company. They have a good turnaround, and the need for software that you're trying to sell is immediate. So you would look at the demographic attributes. Demographic here would include your firmographic attributes as well, and this information would be explicit generally. You would collect this information when you are generating a lead on your landing page. Then you have to find out the authority, whether he or she is a decision maker or not. Now this once again would depend on the explicit info that you collect plus intelligent assumption. For instance, we know that she is a CEO, so she is an authority on making this particular decision. Then you need to understand the need. Do they need the product now, or do they need it 6 months later? Now this would depend on your implicit info, which is behavior tracking. What kind of pages are she looking into? Is she looking at the pricing details, comparisons, etc., or is she looking at some marketing content? Some how-to guides, etc. Let's compare different persona based on their demography and preferences and see which ones should our sales concentrate on. Look at the first one, CEO Sally. We discussed her before. Need is immediate. She's a decision maker. And the second one is Mark, who's a marketer. The job level is supervisor. He is not a decision maker, but he can, because he's a marketer. So if you are probably selling a marketing software, then he can influence the decision. So he still is a valid lead for you. Then the third lead here is CEO Lily, who is a decision maker, but her turnaround is not that much, and they might not have the budget to buy your product. So these first two leads should be pursued for sales, to convert them faster to sales, and the third one is not that, the need is not that immediate, they don't have the budget right now. So in the first case, the content type would be concentrating on business ROI or employee performance, because that is what the CEO would be concerned about. They want to improve the business ROI. So you need to draft content and send across to them how your product will be able to help them achieve this particular value, because this is what they assign importance to. In case of a marketing guy, you can send him across the content that would concentrate on increasing his marketing ROI, because initially he has to be convinced himself, then only he would go up to his CEO or to his supervisor and talk to them about the product. In case of the third, right now you don't need to immediately pursue her for sales, for immediate closure, but you can nurture her by sending her help articles and all, because later on when they are in a position to buy a product, then you will be fresh in your minds. So these are a few attributes that we have discussed. Now when you are defining your persona, the attributes that you assign importance to would differ depending on whether you are a B2C or a B2B company. B2C, you would consider age, gender, geography, household income, education qualification, family status, motivations, technology used to access internet, web, mobile, etc. This data you can find out, using analytics tools, including Google Analytics. Then the research sources, how did they land on your website? Did they come from Google search onto blog articles, or did they come through social? Lead source data will be able to tell you more about this. Then what are the concerns, what are the fears, what are the pain points of these people? Because based on that only you would be able to send them proper content. Again, B2B, when you're defining the persona, you have to consider these attributes: job level, company size, turnaround, then industry, education qualification, the urgency of their purchase, their need, then the goals and motivations, then once again the technology that they use to access internet, the research sources, concerns once again. So what will this persona definition tell you? It will tell you whether or not you should pursue that lead at all, right? Because some would be not relevant to you, some would be completely junk. So you don't need to waste your marketing and your sales team's time on that. Then it would help you decide what topics to choose for nurturing. For instance, we saw the example of a CEO and a marketing lead, right? Different kind of content would make sense to them. Then the format of nurturing content, what do they prefer to use? Read blogs? Do they prefer to download ebooks? Do they prefer to listen to podcasts? What is it that they consider better? Then technology through which the content will be consumed. Like, are they accessing your content through mobile or web? Based on that, it will help you to decide that. Then the platform and the channels on which the content will be consumed. So that was the first prerequisite, defining a lead and creating a persona. The second prerequisite is to create content. How would you nurture your leads when you don't have content created beforehand, right? So you need to create some kind of content. There are different kinds of content in your complete lead to customer conversion cycle. The first one is your lead attraction content, which is your blog posts, your YouTube videos, etc. Then there is your lead capture content, which is anything downloadable, because you would put this behind a form in exchange for their details. You would give them this kind of content. This could be ebooks, white papers, quizzes, travel guides, mock papers, etc. Then your lead engagement content. This is the top of the funnel content and middle of the funnel content, and this includes both of these. It takes some of this and some of that to actually engage these leads, depending on what exactly is it that they are looking for, what exactly is it that they're interested in. Then there is your lead closure content, which is bottom of the funnel content, like your customer testimonials and your price comparisons, etc. Then your customer support content is there, which is how to use a product. But in this case, these two things will be important to you. These two things: lead engagement content and lead closure content. Now that we know that we need to have content beforehand, let's come to the third prerequisite, third essential, which is to have a system to track prospect activities. Now, if you don't have a system in place that tracks your prospects' activities, how would you know what exactly are their interests? Let's take an example of a health and beauty business. So a lead comes in, they view a particular skin or hair treatment page, then they spend some time on the website, opens a particular email, clicks a particular email, downloads a particular brochure. So tracking all of these details would tell you what exactly is it that interests your prospect, and what do you need to pitch to them. And you would be able to segment your leads based on this. See, I've based on the different kind of treatment pages that these guys visited, we've divided them, we have segmented the leads in different lists. Aromatherapy, massage, or seaweed body wrap, and all the others. So yes, it will help you in your segmentation. Then the next essential is to have a lead and engagement scoring system in place. Why is this important? Because using this, you would be able to assign specific scores to your different web activities, like web page visited has a +10 score, positive score, positive. This email opened, email clicked, again have positive scores. Email unsubscribed has a negative score. So this tells you that a particular lead is interested in your product or not. If somebody unsubscribes, they're not interested in buying right now. So you can just, it goes out of your whole nurturing thing. You don't need to nurture them anymore. So it helps you like that. And it helps your sales team as well. So here, using this, you can segment your leads based on their sales readiness and their own relevance, right? Because you have your lead and engagement scoring happening. You know which leads are the cold leads, which leads are the warm leads, and which leads are the hot leads. Depending on this, your content would vary. You would send different kind of content to cold leads, different to hot leads, and different to warm leads. Let's come to that. Your ideal nurturing content would be a summation of understanding the persona of your audience, the interest of your audience, and the sales readiness of your audience. Let's look at the content type. So your top of the funnel content would be generally your blog posts, how-to guides, info-centric ebooks, videos, etc. This would generally go to your cold leads. Middle of the funnel content will be your webinars, case studies, testimonials, etc. Then bottom of the funnel content will be for the guys who are about to buy straight away. So pricing info, product comparison, etc. would make more sense to them. Once again, this is based on sales readiness. This content itself can be will be different depending on their interest as well. For instance, once again, we'll take the travel example. The top of the funnel content. If somebody is looking up Australia packages, then you would send them, if they are cold leads, you can send them content blog posts like 10 things that a budget traveler can do in Australia. And if similarly, if somebody else is looking at Mauritius, then you can send him the blog post concerned with the Mauritius package. Then once again, the top of the funnel, middle of the funnel, and bottom of the funnel content would differ depending on what kind of industry you are in. I'll take just one example of travel. Generally what happens is when travel buyers, they are making buying, when they are in the research phase, then the first thing that they look at is reviews of the different companies, of the different agents. And because these reviews are searchable on sites like TripAdvisor and all, that's why it becomes kind of your traffic-centric content also, and your top of the funnel content also. So that is what you need to send across. However, in case of other industries like say B2B, your testimonials, reviews, etc. would be your middle of funnel content. So that's how it would vary. So now you know what are the different kinds of content that you can send to your different leads. So these were the essentials that you need to have established before you actually start your lead nurturing. Let's come to some best practices now, and we'll quickly cover them. So one very important thing is that every story needs a hero, because you need your story to be read, right? And your hero should be your prospect. Why? Because the attention span of an average online user is less than the attention span of a goldfish. It's 8 seconds as opposed to 9 seconds, which is for a goldfish. They would read stories that they relate to and that are about them, and would mute out stuff that does not interest them, and would mute out content that just talks about you or your product, right? Take an example of this particular email from US based fitness app called Fitbit. What these guys do is that they send across these emails, and they summarize summarize different people's activities and how many how active they have been in a particular year, etc. So this kind of email is the one that will actually get opened, because this is about the prospect. This is not about Fitbit. So this is what you need to do. I mean, you need to make your campaigns about them, not about you. Once again, send stories that touch their pain points and speak their language. So I'll take an example of higher education. Here the decision maker can be a student, and yeah, student with probably a little help from his parents. The main concerns, the main pain points of the students are placements, cost, course, whether he'll get the course of choice or not, and campus culture maybe. So your campaigns should depend on that. Let's take an example. So this guy, he visits your MBA marketing page. He stays there for 11 minutes. And you've automated an email that goes to him with last year's placements for MBA marketing. Now this is of his interest because he spent 11 minutes there. So he clicks on the email, goes to the website again and looks at placement details. Then he navigates to fee structure and spends 10 minutes there. So now you know that he's interested because he's looking at the fee structure. Then you've automated an email that goes to people who visit this page with scholarship cutoff details. So he receives scholarship cutoff details, visits the link, spends 10 minutes. Now you're sure that he's a very good fit. He's interested. So your counselors, your salespeople can give him a call, right? So this is how the whole nurturing will lead to quicker or more intelligent decisions for making sales calls or closures. Then the third thing that you need to do is you have to stand out in a prospect's inbox. You have to make a conversation. Because for instance, somebody who's actually looking to buy right now, who's not just a casual surfer, he would look at your competitors too. Let's take an example of travel again. I've said before, 70% of travelers look at more than 20 reviews before booking, and these reviews are of different companies, right? So they are looking at your competitors' content as well. So you need to do something different from your competitors to actually stand out in your prospects inbox, otherwise they'll mute you out. For instance, somebody looks at your Australia budget tour package, send them an interesting sounding headline, say 10 awesome things to do in Australia on a budget. Then saying simply Australia tour package details, because most of your competitors would send something like this, and prospect might just tune you out. You don't want that. Then once again you have to talking about making a conversation only, you have to listen before you respond. Listen in terms of lead nurturing is what we've talked about before. It's tracking, right? So let's look at this travel example again. Somebody looks at Mauritius tour details and somebody looks at Australia tour details, and you send them both the world travel guide for places to visit. Maybe it might be of some interest to them, but looking at what exactly they're looking at right now, you should not do this. Instead, you should send them specific things like Mauritius travel handbook for the person who was looking at Mauritius tour details, and Australia travel handbook for somebody who was looking at Australia tour details. So this is the right way to do it. Listen before you respond. Listen before you send out your next campaign. Now, once again, we've talked about this before. You have to know your prospects. That's what we said in understanding their persona, understanding their intents, understanding their behavior, right? So you should know their proper demographics. You should know their proper behaviors, etc., in order to send them proper content. See, let's look at this research from Marketing Sherpa once again. The percentage of prospects that place value on specific type of content. Now this is for B2B. 82% of prospects like it if they prefer content that is industry specific. 67% prefer content that is job function specific. 49% prefer content that is specific to their company size, and 29% prefer content that is specific to their location. So that's why you need to you need to have a grasp properly on who exactly your prospects are. I'll give you an example also. Recently what happened was we generally, one of the bottom of the funnel content is that we send them across, how LeadSquared can benefit your particular business kind of a guide. So recently we sent across a guide which was probably by mistake that a generic guide was sent a person in hospitality industry, and it did not make much sense to him. However, we corrected that and we sent him across a guide that was really specific to his own industry. And to think about it, really both the guides did not have too much of difference, just that the terminologies, the references, the images, etc. were replaced to make it more relevant for his industry. So he left that particular guide, even though the content itself was not that different. So this is how the different kind of industries, different kinds of people will prefer different kind of nurturing content. Now, one more thing that you have to do is you should look at adopting channels that are more popular among your prospects as well. So nurturing is generally through emails, of course, but it might not be limited only to that. You can use remarketing tactics to nurture your prospects as well, right? So for instance, if your audience is on Facebook, maybe they are in education business or health and beauty, etc., then you can incorporate social nurturing as well. You can use custom audience, etc., along with your standard nurturing emails that you are sending out. Again, if you are a travel company or a company where lots of images, pictures and all are very interesting, then you should include Instagram and Pinterest in your lead nurturing strategy as well. Another very important thing is to remove irrelevant leads from your nurturing efforts, because if they're not converting, then you're just wasting your marketing money, your sales money and your efforts, right? So if you identify a particular persona or a behavioral pattern that is not actually converting, but just wasting your marketing dollars, don't nurture them. We once again, I'll take an example from our own experience. One of our blog posts, which is around export-import industry, generates a lot of traffic for us. But we noticed that even though it was generating a lot of traffic, a lot of leads, the people who were coming through there were not converting. So what we did is, in our nurturing effort that we were doing using Google remarketing, we suppressed that particular page, so that people who came through that should not come back to our sales funnel, right? So that really helped, because we stopped getting those junk leads over and over again, and we saved a lot of clicks. We saved a lot of money because of that. Then once again, the last point is that you need to analyze, like any other marketing, any other business activity, you need to analyze and make amends accordingly. Check the open rates, click rates, unsubscribe rates, etc. of your emails. Check if the email opens are dropping like with each email in the campaign, or check whether the lead to customer conversion thing has increased or not. Check whether your sales life cycle time has increased or reduced, and based on that, use another formula. Like if probably this is what you're doing right now is not working out for you, then you have to relook at your methods and try something else. Then actually this thing is the last one, and otherwise when you are nurturing using email, then you have to keep your standard email marketing best practices in mind. That you don't have to be spammy, you have to space your campaigns out, you have to personalize, you have to have responsive emails, because a lot of people today they access their emails through mobile. Then always test them in different email clients, time your campaigns. So yeah, that's it. These are the basic things that you must keep in mind while drafting your lead nurturing strategy. Okay, so I'll take a look at some questions now. Kapil is asking if I could repeat the slides one by one again. Kapil, I'll be sending across the presentation to you, so you can take a look at that. Then we'll send it within 4 business days. Is that all right? Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, we'll be sending it across, Kapil. Don't worry. Gopal is asking, how can we track the movement of the leads? Gopal, you need to have some kind of a system in place to actually track the different activities of your leads, and depending on that, they can move to different stages. Mahesh is asking, we are a startup company, what is the basic method to generate leads? Mahesh, there are many things depending on what exactly is your industry, where you can run ads, you can run ads on Google, you can run ads on Facebook, you can create content if you have that kind of bandwidth to get organic leads, and yeah, those are some basic methods.
Hey Prashant here, just to add to what Meenu was saying. So Mahesh, you are in web design and software development industry, right? So for you, the primary lead generation mechanism, would be doing your own market research and reaching out to folks by email and then calling. So that's how most of the web design and software companies work. If you're providing a specific service for which people might be searching online, then you might want to invest on Google AdWords or other kind of ads. But if that is not the case, if you're providing the standard IT kind of service, then focus a bit on market research, figuring out the kind of companies who might be interested in your service, and reach out to them by email and by telecalls. I can see some other questions from Narsimha. There's a question regarding emails going to spam junk. So Narsimha, if you just go by pure definition of spamming, so any any group of emails which are like sent concurrently to a bunch of people where you don't have permission to send email to the people, that's spam, right? So email clients, email platforms have very sophisticated algorithms to figure out spam, whether email is spam or not, right? So if you want to avoid spam, so there are a few things that that can be done. One is a set of settings called doing DKIM SPF setting. Just probably note down the word DKIM and SPF. You can search more about that on our blog portal. You can do those settings, and also invest effort on improving the content of the email, right? So the content of the email plays a very vital role in flagging the email as spam or not, right? And you can I mean, we have a fair amount of advice on that, and a few guides and webinars on our blog portal. So I encourage you to look at that. I mean, I can give you a generic answer right now. I cannot give you a specific answer to your question, your specific problem. So please look at the information that we have on our blog portal, and if you need any help beyond that, just write to us. We'll help you out. Let me see. There is a question from Sunny. I think Meenu has already answered that on chat. So okay. There is a question from Gopal. Acha, Meenu has answered that. What are the major points differentiating between a warm and hot lead, from Roshan? So Roshan, these are some terms which are used in the industry, and I mean each may have a different meaning to a specific company, but in general, warm lead would be in middle of the funnel, like Meenu demonstrated a funnel in the presentation, right? So there are some offers, nurturing offers which are relevant for top of the funnel, middle of the funnel, and bottom of the funnel, right? So hot would mean that I mean, you need, the lead is about to close, so there might not be a lot of steps required before the lead is going to convert to a customer. Warm would mean that they are interested, it's relevant, and the lead is interested in your product or service, but you need to send more relevant, more enticing marketing offers for the lead to convert. Kapil is asking how to integrate the outbound marketing effort with my inbound lead nurturing. Kapil, when you say inbound lead nurturing, can you help me? What methods you're using? Just help me on chat. Pravina, you joined at 3:25. I think that was pretty late in the webinar. So we'll be sharing the webinar link with you. You can go through the webinar recording, and also you can have a look at the presentation. Yeah, Kapil, can you complete your question? So you said that using a lead management system versus LeadSquared, for example. So can you complete your question? Couple, in context of your inbound and outbound marketing efforts, so to give an example, I mean, the programs would be different for different companies, different industries, but if you take if I give you our example, what we do in terms of inbound and outbound marketing for our own business. So our primary customer base is companies who are into B2C space and some segments of B2B space. So and a lot of these people are searching for marketing automation kind of software online. So we do online ads. We run Facebook ads. Our primary traffic comes from organic search and from ads. And when these people come to our website and submit, that's the point when the lead nurturing program starts, and it consists of interaction by emails, by autoresponder emails, by a series of autoresponder emails. So we use LeadSquared for our own marketing, so which gives capability to send emails based on what kind of page people have looked at on our website. So you can personalize the emails based on the interest of the person, right? So we do that. We follow up those emails by offering free guides. These could be guides about generating leads or lead nurturing. These could be guides around marketing, specific guides around business. So business specific guides we provide. And then we also speak to the people. We call people. We speak to the people. We invite them to try LeadSquared, right? And then the interaction is more over the phone. So the tools and methods are the same that Minu spoke about, but what may be relevant, what may not be relevant is subject to the industry that you have. Yeah, Kapil, you pointed it rightly. Creating fresh content is a challenge, and that's a significant challenge. Most of the companies would have, and companies who are able to create fresh, engaging content on continuous basis, they are successful in generating good organic traffic on their website. So I think the answer is simple, that you need to, or a company needs to invest on people who can write, who can do good copywriting, who can write good quality content, right? So I've seen companies either having freelancers or full-time bloggers who write blog content, engaging content, and that really helps them in driving the traffic. So there is no there are companies who specialize in providing those kind of services, but no tool will help. Tool can only help to extent, right? Blogging tools are there. Several blogging tools are available, but if you really want to generate good quality organic traffic, then you need to write fresh content. You can actually do a shortcut by repurposing some existing content, but that does not help to a large extent. It will help only so much. If you want content marketing to make an impact on your business, then you'll have to invest on people, either people or a company who can write good engaging content. Yeah, we can provide some references offline, Kapil. So Minu will reach out to you. Yeah, I think we are kind of done. So if there are any questions that we missed to answer, we'll be happy to answer them on email. We'll just check out all the questions, and if anybody is missed, we'll reach out to the person by email. And thanks a lot. Thanks for joining the webinar, and have a good day and good weekend ahead. Bye-bye.